Feng Shui Modern. Alright, bear with me on this one today because it's actually going to be really fun. My name's Nicole. I put out content for women who are building businesses from the ground, often tech-enabled and always something they're passionate about and they want to build their life around. So today I'm doing something a little bit different because if you're anything like me, when you start to do a business, you're absorbing so much content and so much knowledge, and it all tends to be really focused on mindset, which is absolutely amazing. Like I pulled out the books that I've read recently, just for funsies. Productivity book. It's kind of an optimizing approach book. I think it's meant to be informative. I treat it like a how-to guide. Conquering Your Imposter Syndrome. Atomic Habits, which didn't work for me. How about you? Okay, well that one's quantum computing. And then business books. So we have all of these books and all these knowledge that focus on our mindset, how we show up to work and what we do. And I realized there's a bit of a gap because I went to a conference on Friday that was about getting entrepreneurial women into the same space. And it was amazing and it was so good. And one of the things I kept hearing over and over again was, it's nice to go out and talk to someone. I run my business from home. And we all do, and it's so true, especially if you've got a 9-to-5 job and you're just building something on the side. You're not renting an office space for that. You're doing it in your living room or your bedroom or whatever space you have to make it work. And so I was thinking about that, and we put in so much time and effort into our mental state and our mental environment, but probably not into the physical environment in which we work. Now, I am incapable of doing anything like a normal human being, so I got a book. I had it handy, then I moved it. Feng Shui Modern. This book is by an architect called Cliff Tan. He's very popular on YouTube and TikTok, and he's making Feng Shui accessible for people who aren't necessarily into the spiritual side of it. Now, for those of you who know me, I am very much more data than woo-woo on the scale. But one thing that I've started to learn about Feng Shui is if you replace the word energy with foot traffic, it almost comes out to the exact same outcome. And so even though it is a very spiritual thing, and it is a thing that means a lot more to people than the sum of its parts, it's actually really practical. So I set out to fix my living space. Here we have the floor plan. You can see the stairs where you enter the room. This one here is bifold doors that are sort of windows when they're closed, but doors when they're open. You've got here the kitchen area, and this is the space to the other room. So my desk lives here, and I'm facing the stairs as I work. Now behind me is the couch and the TV and bookcase, and then over here we have the dining room table. Now it is an 8-seater table, but we've actually put a few of the chairs in storage so we can sort of push it under the kitchen bench. Over on this side we have the IKEA bookshelf, we have my piano and a chair. I'm going to walk you through the floor. There's a few things that are just fundamentally wrong with my workspace. Let's start with the desk. I really love this setup. It's big, pretty desk with a great chair, and it's got everything I need in easy reach. But the location of it is the problem. So the wall behind me is all windows, which means I get constant glare on my screen. And instead of looking out at something, nice to look at, I'm staring straight at the backboard all day, which is not really fuel for my creativity. But the real issue is what's behind me. My chair backs right up to the couch. So it's really great when my dogs curl up there, but it's not really great if anyone wants to use the living room as a living room. When my kids are home, I've got my back to them, so I can't see what they're doing, and it usually means they come over to me and literally climb on me to get attention. The next problem is the view from the stairs. This is the second floor of my house, so you come upstairs to enter the main living space, and the first thing you see when you come upstairs is the cardboard cubby house. Now, my kids built it, and I love that they did, but, as artists, they're still working on their vision, all right? It's a bit of an eyesore, and the only ones who are still using it is the dogs, because they've just claimed it as their safe spot in the house. Then we have over here the dining room table. The only place it really fits is pushed under the kitchen bench, which makes it really awkward to sit at. And we've got our air fryer and soda stream and blender. They all just have to live out permanently because there's nowhere better for them to go. So it is practical, but it's also pretty ugly to look at. modern kitchen, powered by clutter. And finally over here is what I like to affectionately call the trash corner. It was meant to be a cozy nook with my piano and some shelves, but right now it's just a collection zone for all the random bits that don't have a home in my house. So I want to fix that too. According to the book, first thing to do is to map the pathways. But what I'm going to do first is there's 2 pieces of furniture that are kind of non-negotiable, and they really impact how people move about the room. So the first one is the TV. This space is designed for the TV, so it has all of the outlets, all of the power points, and it's also the only high window. So the TV kind of has to go there, which means the natural place to put the couch is here. So we have this L-shaped couch, and it is modular, so we've tried it in a bunch of different configurations. What we found is that when we put it here, it would be very hard to get through these doors. The gap is quite small and felt like we were exposed to the kitchen. So what we ended up doing, and what we still do, is have it here. Now I'm going to follow the advice in the book and map my pathways. When you come upstairs, let's go this way first. So you're coming up and then you're looping back to go to the bedroom. You're also looping around to go to the kitchen. If you're going through this door, you have to come up to this end. People go both ways, either through the living area or around behind. And there is a window here that does tend to pull the eye a little bit. Let's assume there's energy coming in towards that window, so it comes in and flows out, if I understood that correctly. All right, so that's the first part. And the next one is to map out the sharp angles. The idea is that if there's a sharp pointy angle, like these, it makes you less comfortable in the space. If you have these sharp pointy bits pointing at you, it triggers something subconsciously and you're not as comfortable. And unfortunately, this floor plan, they've just pretty much designed these straight in. There's also a ceiling fan here, a source of sharp pointy bits. However, I live in Queensland, Australia, and we just had a 38-degree day yesterday. That's in Celsius. In other parts of the world, sitting under a fan might feel uncomfortable. In Australia, sitting under the fan is the primo spot, unless you've got the aircon going. So that's there. It's probably not the best positioning with the couch, according to Feng Shui, but it is the best positioning if you're hot and you want to sit on the couch. The next one is the windows. So this is the positive energies coming through. And this is where this floor plan is interesting because there's pretty much a window on every flat surface. We have a huge amount of light coming in from these doors. There's also a smaller window above the TV, but that has a little curtain and it's generally closed. There is a window here, so we've got some more light coming in quite high, which is nice. A small window here brings energy. Another in the kitchen, more energy. The best one is this one here. This is a big window that just brings all of this lovely light in the mornings, which is really quite enjoyable. So now we can look at the different lines of the plan. The point of Feng Shui is to position your desk in the areas that you want to spend the most time in outside of these parts. We basically end up with 2 spots, this spot over here, this spot over here, that are out of the way of foot traffic and are good places to position my desk. I did think about putting it over here because this is the more sort of natural feeling spot at a glance. But if I have it like this, my back's to everything going on, and if I turn it around like this, the backboard of that ends up meaning that I block all the light for the room and the light's directly behind my screen. That's not a great spot for it. And I also want to keep that spot for something else. So that basically leaves me with this spot here. But it does create some issues because I've got my back to the kitchen, which is a really high traffic place and there'll be people coming in. Let me put down the rest of the furniture first. The next one is this table. In the process of creating this video, I realized that the table is too big for the space, but I really love it. I got it for $100 on Facebook Marketplace and it is just the best table. So I'm saving it up for a house big enough. But until then, so we originally had it under the bench, but what that basically meant is we never use it. It's a really awkward spot. Tried it over here, but what we found is if we put the chairs on this side, it would stick out in the walkway too much. If we did it this side, you'd have to squeeze around. It just wasn't a practical spot. So I think the best compromise is over here and put an extra chair there, which is nice. That's probably the best spot for the dining room table. We have this coffee table. So up until now, I lived under the dining room table and we never used it. Now, I don't want to put it over here because that would start to block this entrance. It's just a bit too big. And we also really like having that floor mat because the kids play their games on it. So what I actually want to do is put it over here and I get my little armchair. This was here before and I want to put it here. And I've also got my piano. That's going to go there. Now we've created this really nice corner where I can sit and have a cup of tea. I can play the piano. I can talk. That's the main bits of furniture. It is worth noting the kids' cubby house was moved down to their bedroom. The dogs used it more than the kids. What I've ended up doing is put the dog bed here. So there's now a new little bookcase here, a meter wide carpet runner. Creates that visual feeling of the nice zone all by itself. The only other thing I wanted to change too was up until now, I've had a big backboard on this desk. I'm going to put it on the kitchen bench here, which means all of those like appliances and the sink and all the ugly stuff that lives on my kitchen bench is now hidden behind the barrier. This office space is really strongly defined with nice big lines. And we've got a really nice living room where I can be sitting at my desk and I can talk to someone who's on the couch, or I can watch what my kids are doing, but I can also still work. We've got the dining room table that you can now sit here and you can sit there. And we put another dog bed here, I think too, so the puppies have lots of options. We've got the cozy living room and we've got the little sun nook in the morning. So this is my theory. Now I'm going to move the furniture and I will show you how it looks. Now, if YouTube is to be believed, I will click my fingers and it will work. Now, I haven't filmed the moving of furniture yet, but I suspect it's going to go wrong at some point, so I'm going to put this plug in right after that moment. If you've enjoyed watching this video, even if it is just to see me like fall on my butt or whatever went wrong in the filming, please like and subscribe. I would really love to keep doing content like this, so any support that you can give me makes a big difference. Also, if you have anything to say, drop it in the comments, even just to say hello. It is nice to know that I'm not screaming into the void. Alrighty, here is hello puppy. Here is the big reveal. So, come upstairs. We still have the lovely seating area. We now have the dining room there and my amazing desk. So, oh hello puppy. So I put chest of drawers on the side there to give a physical barrier, and I had this little runner carpet which marks out the space. I also moved the backboard to behind the desk so that it feels separate from the kitchen. So now you can see when I'm sitting at my desk, I have this and keep an eye on the kitties and what they're up to on the couch or the play area. I can see outside. Someone can eat over there at the table and we don't feel like we're on top of each other. And then we have my little nook over here. So the piano, coffee table, and my favorite armchair. We still have all the crap in the kitchen, but you can't see it because it's hidden nicely behind. All right, so that is the changes that I made in my house. Now, I've been living with it for about a month, and I have to say it has made such a big difference that I wish I'd done it a long time ago with Feng Shui principles in mind. It's just the little things that make a huge difference. First of all, changing the desk location has made it for people to use different parts of the living room at the same time. When my husband plays video games, which I do not, it's perfect. I can sit at my desk, I can work through some stuff that I enjoy doing, but we still feel like we're in the same space, we're in the same room. I'm also really amazed by the piano. Just having the piano in a slightly different location means that we've been using it more. And I say we because my 2-year-old and my 4-year-old have been coming to play on it, and I love that. And they're just like plinking away, singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star badly, and it just brings me so much joy. And it was there the whole time before. Just having it in a different location has made it something that everyone feels more drawn to. Now, this particular chair is my hill to die on. I do not think it is good feng shui to have it in the position that I have it. However, it is amazing because I can watch my kids when they're watching TV or eating or playing on the ground, but I'm not so close that they feel like they need to interact with me constantly, so they can have some independent play. I'm looking at the kitchen here, so if my husband's cooking or vice versa, we can talk to each other and we have this great relationship. It's also just really nice to sit next to the window and have a cup of tea. So this chair is not moving. And then just in terms of my overall productivity, I've always been pretty productive, but this is really helping me get into that flow state because it's a physical transition into my work area from my living space, I think it helps my brain switch into work gear more, and importantly, it also helps my brain switch out of work gear so that when I'm spending time with my family, I am present and I'm intentional and I'm with my family, and I'm not feeling like I'm in my workspace, I'm feeling like I'm thinking about work. So I really love that too. Now, Mr. Cliff Tan, if you're watching this video, please let me know how you think I did. If you have any suggestions, I am happy to fix it. And for everyone else, if you are working from home, do give some real thought about the physical space, because this process has allowed me to find solutions that I didn't actually consider beforehand, and it has made a genuine improvement to my day-to-day. All right, everyone, thank you for watching today. As always, I really appreciate your support and your time. Keep building things from the ground up, and if you want some more resources to help you, look in the description of this video. Otherwise, leave me a comment, leave me a like, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you very much.